Hey, this is Derek with Boise Cylinder Head Services. Today we're finishing up our rebuild on this 1981 Toyota Starlet cylinder head. It's 1.3 liter. It's a pretty tiny 4-cylinder engine here. We've gone through and tore it down, ground the valves, estimated it out, and we cleaned it up, cut the seats here, and then resurfaced the cylinder head gasket surface, got it all nice and clean and shiny, and then we washed it all off. We put in a thread insert on one of the damaged threads here. Half the threads were gone in this hole, so we put in a time insert. And then we proceeded to put on the valve stem seals, which are underneath this spring here. Then we oiled those up, oiled the valves up, put them in, and put in the keepers. And the last step that we have is to vacuum check it. We have a vacuum check gun right here that we use on most of our cylinder head situations to verify that the valves to seat contact is sealing properly. We're getting about a 17 today. And what this thing does is it just makes sure that we ground the valves appropriately and we ground the seats appropriately, and that our contact between the two are sealing like they should. So on this cylinder head, we got it all together and we're ready to check the vacuum. So let's do that real quick. I got to plug off the spark plug tube hole here, and then confirm the vacuum. We got getting about a, let's see, the 17 on that one. About a 16 on that one. Another 17. And about a 16. So anything over about 15 and a half is going to be sufficient for what we're after. We also have an interference fit where we grind the exhaust valves at 44.5 degrees, and we cut the seats at 45 degrees. So it leaves a little bit of interference there. So as the engine runs, it pounds into place and seals up. And all these are passing. So, our next step here is to make sure we don't have any fingerprints or grease marks that got left behind. Sometimes during working these heads at these final stages, something will get a little grease on it. Our hands will be dirty, and we just want to wipe up any kind of fingerprints or any kind of inconsistencies that we have. A little bit of grease there we can wipe off. And then our next step here is to put on a heat tab. Right here, this is our heat tabs, and they melt at about 230 degrees Fahrenheit. What that tells us is if you're putting the cylinder head on your car, you don't change out the radiator when it needs changed out, or you get some sort of reason that overheats your engine, at those temperatures, the metal starts to flex and warp, and you can see these head gasket surface just really warp out, kind of like a banana shape, and then you get a head gasket blown or other issues that could come from that. And what this tells us is, if you've overheated your engine, you've pretty much voided your warranty on this cylinder head. We can do a lot to protect our customers, but if you're overheating your cylinder head, there's not much we can do but fix the cylinder head again and advise you on how not to do that. So we put a little bit of gasket on here to hold that keeper in place, and put it on the other side of a coolant port. There's coolant here, so that if the coolant gets to that temperature where we're concerned about, that heat tab's definitely going to melt. Another step that we do here is we take a marker and inspect all the holes. So we just look them over, make sure the threads are in good shape, look over the springs, make sure they're in proper position. Put a little mark showing that we checked all the tips of these valves here, and they look clean and they've been worked over properly. This just builds a little confidence for ourselves and for our customers. When they look at this, they can know that we inspected every single point of this cylinder head. And I like how it looks, little dots over saying you verified everything. Let's see. That thread insert came out really nice. Couple dots here. Inspect this thing, and that's all we got. That finishes up our rebuild for this Toyota Starlet 1981 1.3 liter. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification button. And remember, it's all in your head.